Everyone hates those long NBA commercial breaks, but most fans don't really know how they actually work. And the crazy part is, coaches can actually use them as a weapon, and Mike Brown might have done exactly that in Game 1 against the Spurs. At first, this timeout looked strange. The Knicks called timeout with 7:38 left in the quarter, and if you know how NBA media timeouts work, you might think, why would you call timeout right before an automatic TV timeout window? But that's exactly why this is interesting, because the NBA every quarter needs 2 mandatory media timeouts. And if teams don't take them early enough, the league forces them at the next dead ball after the clock goes under 7 minutes, and again after it goes under 3 minutes. So instead of waiting for the automatic break, Mike Brown basically pulls the media timeout forward. And that small timing detail changes the whole rotation situation. Before this timeout, Brunson had been sitting for a while. He was getting real rest. Meanwhile, Wemby had been on the floor. He had already played heavy minutes, and you can tell the Spurs needed to find him a break. So when Brown calls timeout at 7:38, he doesn't just stop the game, he creates the perfect moment to bring Brunson back in. Fresh legs, fresh energy, and ready to attack. And now the Spurs have a problem. Because Wemby still needs to sit, he can't just play the entire fourth quarter without a real breather. So the Spurs go to Cornet, and this is exactly the window Brown is attacking. Brunson comes back in the game, Wemby's off the floor and the paint is suddenly way less protected. Now watch the first possession after a timeout. Brunson gets the ball, attacks immediately, gets downhill and scores at the rim. That is not random. That is exactly what New York wanted. They didn't wait for the normal media timeout reset where both teams could come back organized. They used the timeout to bring Brunson back before the Spurs could comfortably manage Wemby's rest. And then on the next possession, Brunson attacks again. Same idea, pressure the paint, force the defense to collapse, and this time he draws a foul. Now the Spurs are basically forced into a decision. Either they keep Wemby on the bench and let Brunson keep attacking a Wemby-less paint, or they bring Wemby back early, before he actually gets the rest he needs. And that's a trap, because the timeout didn't just give Brunson rest, it created rotation pressure. It forced San Antonio to react, and once Brunson immediately punishes the Cornet minutes, the Spurs almost have no choice. They have to bring Wemby back, but now Wemby is not coming back fully recovered. He's coming back because the Knicks forced the issue. And a few possessions later, you can already see the effect. Wemby's back on the court, but he's clearly still tired. Brunson keeps putting pressure on the rim. New York keeps attacking before the Spurs can fully settle. And then San Antonio has to call another timeout. Not because of one single play, but because the Knicks had forced them into a rotation problem. They needed to buy Wemby even more rest, and that is why the timeout was so clever. He attacked the Wemby-less minutes immediately, and he forced the Spurs to bring their most important defender back before he was truly ready. So now I want to know what you think. Was this a smart coaching move, or do you think people are overthinking this timeout? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more tactical NBA breakdowns like this, leave a like and subscribe. And remember, stay tactical.